Hello dear students, welcome you again to this class of microeconomics of producers behavior. So today in this video we are going to discuss the last part of this unit, that is called supply. So under supply we are going to find out definition of supply, difference between stock and supply, then we have law of supply. Then again in this unit we are going to find out different concepts of supply, like factors determining supply. Then we have individual supply, market supply, change in quantity supply, change in supply, and lastly in this unit you are going to find out the elasticity of supply. So with all this concept you are going to find out the importance of supply in production. So without delay, let's start our class. Okay, so you can see my screen now. One thing we all know that here we are discussing the unit name is producers behavior. So one of the important concept that describe the behavior of the producer is supply. So supply is a part of producer's behavior, because when the producer produced a product and they offer it for sale, that is where the theory of supply comes. So here in this video we are going to discuss the different topics related to supply. So here we all can see the content of the video. So supply, definition of supply, supply definition. Secondly, we will discuss supply function and determinants of supply, then supply schedule and supply curve, law of supply, and lastly price elasticity of supply. So I have divided the class into 5 different topics. So today's video we are going to discuss, or in this session we are going to discuss only the first 3 part: supply definition, supply function and determinants of supply, supply schedule, and supply curve. Okay. So here, okay, before this giving you the definition of supply and certain things, elements of supply, let us mention about supply and stock. Okay, you see, when the producer produces a amount of product, that product becomes the stock, and whatever is producer is producing at a particular point of time, that entire stock is not offered for sale. So for example, here if we take one producer, for example, suppose we have taken one producer here. Okay, so let me take the example of a producer. So suppose there is one producer X, and this producer produces a particular product. Suppose for example we can take pens. So suppose he produces pens, number of pens he produces at a point of time. Okay, so these are different numbers of pens. Okay, so this is his production, and this production becomes his stock. Now the producer will be ready to offer this stock for sale when he will get a price for this product. Okay, so when he is getting the desired price for the product, then he will definitely offer this stock for sale, and that stock which is offered for sale at a particular price is called supply. So he might get different price at different point of time. So he might not be able to sell entire stock of his production for sale at one price. So for example, suppose there are different price. Suppose we have taken here price and quantity that is offered for sale. When the price per unit of price for a product is suppose 1 in the market, the producer is ready to sell 10 units of product out of his stock, and Suppose the price increased per unit to 2. Now the producer is offering more. Why? Because now he is getting more money. Very simple. So when the producer is getting more money, he will be ready to sell more. Suppose again price increased to 3 per unit price. This is the price per unit. So he will be selling suppose 30 units. So this is how the producer sells the product at a different price at a different point of time. And this quantity that he offered for sale at different prices is called supply. And the quantity that he produced and which he keeps with him, that is his stock. So out of the stock he offer for sale at different prices at different point of time. So that is the difference between supply and stock. So stock is the total quantity available in the market at a certain point of time. And what is supply? Supply is that part of stock which a seller is ready to sell at a certain time or at a certain price. So that is the difference between stock and supply. Now from this entire example, we have come to know that there are three things, three elements that is associated with supply. First of all, that it is a quantity. So the supplier who is supplying or the producer who is supplying the products, he will supply only when he has a particular quantity available with him. Otherwise he cannot supply. So supply needs a quantity that should be available with the producer. And when he will supply this quantity, only when he will get a desired price of the commodity. So if he thinks that that price is less than the cost of the production, he will not sell. So when the producer sees that this is the price, okay, I can sell some of my products, then only he will offer the product for sale. So the second element associated with supply is price of the commodity. And third is that there is a particular point of time. So quantity is offered at a point of time. So these three are the elements, as we have three elements in demand also: time, quantity, price. So similarly here also we have three different elements: quantity of the commodity, price of the commodity, during the time during the quantity is offered. So without these three elements you cannot define a statement of supply. So now considering all these three, if we had to make the definition of supply, then what we can say, that supply is a quantity. That is the first element. Supply is a quantity of a commodity which the producer produces, isn't it? Which a farm or industry produces. And that commodity which a farm or industry is willing to offer. You see, willing to offer. The farm or the producer or the seller, he should be willing to offer. Otherwise, what happen? Quantity is available, price is there, but the farm may not be willing to offer because that price is not at what he is willing to offer. Okay, so willing to offer for sale at a given price. Okay, and at a particular point of time. So this is how the definition of supply we can define. Supply is a quantity of a commodity which a farm or an industry is willing to offer for sale at a given price during a particular point of time. So supply is not the total quantity. So supply is not the total stock. So we now came to know that there is a difference between the supply and the stock. Stock is the total amount of production of a farm. Okay, if the farm is producing suppose per day 100 units of pen, and out of this 100 he is offering only suppose 70 units of pens in the market. He is ready to sell only 70 units. That means he is keeping with him 30 units. So his stock is 100 but he is offering 70 units. That is the difference between stock and supply. So quantity of a commodity, price of the commodity, and the time period are the three different elements or aspects of quantity supply. Without mentioning all this, a supply statement cannot be made. So when we are talking of a supply, we have to mention about the quantity, we have to mention at what price that quantity is available, and we have to mention and which time period. Otherwise the statement will not be technically correct. Okay, so now the difference between stock and supply, as I said, stock is the total quantity and supply is the part of the stock which a seller is ready to sell at the market price. Okay, so now our next topic is supply function and determinants of supply. So as we discussed earlier, determinants of supply is very important, and on this determinants of supply, supply function is dependent. Okay, so now you see what is supply function. Supply function, as we know, this is the mathematical thing, function. Supply function states that the functional relationship between supply of a commodity and its various determinants. So basically supply function shows the supply one side and determinants of supply on the other side. Here you see this is the supply and these are the determinants of supply. Okay, because all these factors determines the supply. So we are going to discuss how these factors determines the supply, or how this factor affects the supply. That we will discuss in our next slides. So you see, supply is a function of price of the commodity, it is a function of price of related goods, it is a function of number of farms, it is the function of goal of the farms, price of factors of production, technology, expected future price, and government policy. So if any changes in all these factors, if there is any changes in all these factors, it will directly impact supply. Okay, so supply function is the function which shows that how supply is dependent on the different factors and how these factors going to affect the supply when there is any changes in these factors. So mathematically it is a functional relationship between the supply of a commodity and the different determinants of supply. So now we will discuss one by one these determinants. You see, we have already discussed that where we are discussing the stock and supply, that at different price the farmer, producer or the seller is ready to sell the product. Okay, now what we took, that when the price of the commodity is 1, the producer is selling how much? 10. The producer is selling 10. The price increased to 2. The producer is selling 20. 3, suppose producer is selling 30. 4, producer is selling 40. So you can see price increased 1 to 2, quantity offered for sale increased 10 to 20. Price increased 2 to 3, quantity offered increased 20 to 30. Price increased 3 to 4, quantity offered increased 30 to 40. So there is a direct relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity offered. So the relationship between price and the commodity is direct. So price increased, quantity is also increased. Price decreased, quantity will also decrease. You see reverse, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, 40 to 30, 30 to 4, 20, 20 to 10. So price of the commodity and the quantity supplied of the commodity to the market is directly related. More price means we are getting more money. The producer is getting more money. So definitely I will be ready to sell more if they are giving me more price. Somebody says, okay, I am giving you 3 rupees per unit. I will be ready to sell more. If somebody is giving me 4 rupees per unit, so I will sell more. So there is a direct relationship between price and the quantity offered. So that is the first determinants of supply, price of the commodity. Second is, you see here a producer is not only producing one commodity. Producers or a company is always trying its hand in different types of commodities. For example, here we suppose we take one producer who is selling, suppose, pens. Okay, so he will not only sell pens of, suppose he is selling pens of blue color. That same producer will also sell pens of red color. That same producer will also sell pen of, suppose, black color. Okay, so it is not that he will always sell only one product. So here see, products are same, so there are differences. He is trying his hand in blue pen, red ink pen, black ink pen. So like that, there are other different related items which the producer is selling. Okay, so these are all substitute for each other. But you see how this affects when the price of these different pens changes, the demand or the supply, the supply offered by the producer of these pens to the market also changes. For example, take us one condition. Normally students uses blue pen. So blue pens are more in demand, as we all uses basically blue pen. Red and black is rarely used. Okay, so suppose their situation occurred or some regulation has come by the government that now onwards the student needs to write their exams with the red ink pen, red blue pen, ball pen. Okay, so then what will happen when such kind of regulation comes? This is a hypothetical situation. Okay, so suppose such kind of regulation has come that students needs to write their exam with red ink, then what will happen? Immediately there will be increase in the demand for that red pen in the market. And as we know, when the demand for a particular product increases, then what happens? The price also increases. So suppose the price of this red pen increases because of such regulation and because of the demand increase. Then what will happen? When the price of this red ink increases, the producer who is producing 3 different pens, blue, red, black, then what will he do? Suppose price of blue pen remains same, price of black pen remain same because demand is more or less same. So immediately the producer will increase his production towards red pen. So some of the resources he will release from blue and black and he will produce more of red pen, and he will offer more quantity of red pen in the market, isn't it? Because he is getting more price. So he is not a fool that he is producing more blue, more black, instead of price of red is going up. So he is not producing the product out of his love, isn't it? I love red color, that's why I will produce red pen no matter what happens. It is not like that. The producer will produce or supply that product which has its demand in the market and whose price is increasing. So here you see we have seen that price of red pen is increasing, so that's why producer is offering more of red pen. So what happens to the quantity of blue? Definitely when he shifted his resource from blue to red, black to red, the quantity of other products will fall. Red also will fall, blue also will fall. That means the supply of blue pen and supply of black pen in the market will be reduced. So that is how the price of a related commodity affects the supply of a particular good. So here price of red pen increase, immediately the supply of blue pen and black pen is reduced, because now the producer is offering more red pen in the market as he is getting more price. So that is the very simple logic. So that is how the price of related goods affects the supply. So related good is the second important determinant of supply. Number of firms. So that is very obvious. When there is one producer is producing a commodity, suppose 100 units he is producing, one more come, he is producing suppose 70 units, one more producer, suppose he is producing 30 units. So more the number of producers, more the number of farms, more will be the quantity of supply. So everyone will ready to sell in the market. They all are producing why? To sell in the market, isn't it? So nobody is producing just to keep the stock. Everyone is producing to sell it in the market. So as many as the producers, so when the number of farms increase, the number of products supplied in the market will also be increased. This is the third determinant of supply. Now let us talk here about the behavior of a producer. Okay, so you see there are two different types or mindset of a producer. Some producer, what they think that they want to produce or they want to produce product to maximize their sale. Okay, there are some producers, what they think that no matter if the price of the product is less, still I will sell. I will be focusing on selling my product. I will not keep stock more. I want to sell it immediately, although I am getting little less price. So I will sell my product. Okay, so this type of producers, their goal is sales maximization. Sales maximization. Okay, their goal is sales maximization. So if they are getting little lower price also, they are ready to sell. And there is another set of producers. What is their goal? They always try to maximize their profit. So in that case, what happens, when they try to maximize their profit, definitely they have to sell their product at a higher price. So they will be offering their products when the prices are high. Okay, so because their goal is to maximize profit. So profit maximization is the goal of the other producers. So these are the two different types of behavior we can see among the producers. Some ready to sell the product at a lower price also because they want to maximize their sale and they want to release their stock. But some are not ready to sell it at a lower price. They wait for a higher price and because they want to maximize their profit. So they want maximum profit per unit sale. So in that case, what happened? This is called the goal of the farm. Some farms' goal is to maximize sales and some farms' goal is to maximize profit. So how it affects the supply? So when the farm goal is to maximize sale, then that farm will supply more at the existing price or at a lower price also. Supply will not be affected. But the farms whose goal is to maximize profit, they will supply more only if the price is high. So here this kind of seller, this kind of producers, supply will be affected by the price very much, but this kind of seller supply will not be affected very much by the change in price because they are ready to sell it at a lower price also. But if price reduces, this type of producer will offer less. But if price reduces, this type of producer will not offer less. They will offer the same or sometimes more to increase more. So that is how the goal of the farm affects the sale of a commodity or supply of a commodity. Okay. Price of factors of production. Now, when the farm produces a product, how it produces the product? Definitely by using different factors of production. What are the factors of production? In economics, basically we divided the different factors of production as land, labor, capital, organization. So these are the different factors of production. This is broad classification. Okay, and it includes all raw materials, everything is included, raw materials, then transportation. So there are other costs which also included here. Everything is included in a broad category of this. Okay, so when the price of raw materials, price of labors, because of some reasons, due to some certain terms and conditions, it might increase. So suppose nowadays you can see that labors are not available in the industrial cities because they have gone back to their home. So there's a shortage of labor maybe in certain cities, industrial cities, because they are not there. So that is why the available labor price might go up. Land price to always increasing, price of suppose raw material is also increased. So if all these increase, all these are considered what? These are nothing but the cost of production. Price of all the factors of production is nothing but the cost of production. When the price of labor increase, price of capital increase, price of raw material increase, transportation cost increase, all this is going to increase the cost of production. And when the cost of production increase, definitely the quantity supply will be reduced. So price of factors of production affects the supply of a commodity, because price increased, cost of production will increase and the quantity supply will be reduced, because now he is spending more money on producing the product. So he will be able to produce less. So if he is producing less, he will offer less. Similarly, when price is reduced, the producer will be able to produce more. He will produce more, he will offer more, so market supply will increase. So that is how price of factors of production affects the supply of a commodity. Technology. Technology plays a very important role in production. Normally, producer always upgrade the technology. If you are lacking behind the technology, that means your cost of production is more. So if the producer, one who is using updated technology or advanced technology, definitely his cost of production will be less, or his total quantity will be more. When advanced technology always reduces the cost of production and increases the total production, isn't it? So if a producer is regularly updating his technology, regularly using sophisticated technology, definitely he will be able to reduce his cost and increase his quantity of production, and this will ultimately increase the supply. But the someone who is using outdated technology, his cost of production will be increasing, or it will remain same. So quantity will also be reducing and the supply will also reduce. So he will not be able to, or his quantity will remain same, supply will remain same if his technology remains same. So someone who is regularly updating his technology, definitely he will be able to offer more product in the market. He will be able to produce more product. So in that way he will be able to offer more supply in the market. So at existing price, the producer will supply more if he is using advanced technology. So change in technology can affect the supply of production or supply of a commodity in the market. Determinants of supply. Another determinants of supply is that future price. As I said, that the producer whose goal is to maximize profit. There are two types of producer we discussed, remember? The producer whose goal is to maximize profit. So that producer, that type of producer always like to wait for the rise of price in future. They always foresee the situation. Okay, so the one who is ready to, or one who is trying to maximize profit, if he sees that in near future the price of the commodity will be increasing, then what will happen? He will keep his stock with him. He will not sell. And if he sees that price of the commodity will be reducing, then definitely he will immediately offer more at the current price. So you see, in our earlier example, when we discussed about the pens, black pen, black, red, blue, the three different pens we have taken. So you see, if somehow the producer came to know that in near future such kinds of guidelines will come from the government, that the red pen will be used for examination purpose, then what will happen? Immediately the producer will release his stock of blue pens, because blue pens price will go down, the demand is going to be less. But he sees that this kind of guidelines will come where the red pens demand is going to increase. He will not sell red pen at the existing price. He will keep the stock with him. So when the regulation comes, demand increase, price increase, then only he is going to release his stock. But at the same time, he is going to release the stock of black and blue pen immediately, because he knows that such kind of regulation comes, the demand for this type of pens will be reduced and price will be reduced. So better to sell the stock at the existing price. So he will release, because he knows that this kind of pens price will be reduced in near future. But since he knows that red pens demands will increase, price will increase, so he will keep the stock with him and he will release only when the demand will increase or price will increase. So that is how the future price, expected future price, affect the market supply of the product in the market. Am I clear? Okay. So here we are going to talk two types of government policies. First one is tax, second one is subsidy. What is tax? Tax is the payment made to the government. It is a compulsory. So when tax is imposed by the government on the producer, then what happens? This tax increases the cost of production, and when cost of production increase, definitely what happens? The supply reduces. Higher the tax, higher the cost of production, lower is the supply. Subsidy is, on the other hand, the support from the government. If government is going to cover some of your cost, then what happens? Your cost of production will be reduced. When subsidy is given, cost of production is reduced, because government is going to cover certain parts of your cost, and in that way the supply of the product will be increased, because cost of production you will be reduced, there will be more production, there will be more supply. So government policy is going to affect the supply. If tax increased, supply will be reduced. If subsidy increased, supply will be increased, because it is going to affect the production. So these are the determinants of supply which affect the supply of the product in the market. Our next topic that we are going to cover is supply schedule and supply curve. So in this we are going to talk about individual supply schedule and individual supply curve, and market supply schedule and market supply curve. So supply schedule is what? It is nothing but, if you remember, I have given you one example initially where we have taken price and quantity, and price is 1, quantity is 10, price is 2, quantity is 20, price is 3, quantity is 30, price is 4, quantity is 40. This entire tabular form between the price and quantity is nothing but the supply schedule. So supply schedule shows a tabular representation of law of supply. So supply schedule is a tabular representation of the relation between price and quantity. Okay, so different quantities of the product that is seller is willing to sell at a different price. So you see here at 110, at 220, at 330, at 440. At different price, different quantities are offered. So that is why we put in a tabular form is called supply schedule. And this supply schedule can be of individual supply schedule. This is what here we mentioned, this price of the product and quantity offered by the firm. This is for one firm. So this is individual supply schedule, and on the basis of this individual supply schedule we can draw supply curve. Okay, and we have market supply schedule and market supply curve, where we will take the quantity offered by different seller or producer in the market. When we put them together, that will give you the market supply and market supply schedule. You see here individual supply schedule, individual supply curve. Here we have taken example of milk. So price of milk per liter. So when it was 10, the quantity supplied by a single farm or single producer is 10. Okay, so 1000 per day liters. When it is 12, it is 15. When it is price is 14, it is 20, 16, 25. As price increase, the supply offered is also increased. So when all this schedule, this is called schedule, when this schedule is put in a diagrammatic form, we have taken price on y-axis and quantity on x-axis. So price is 10, quantity is 10 here. Price is 15, price is 12, quantity is price is 12, quantity is 15, somewhere here. Price is 14, quantity is 20, so it's somewhere here. Price is 16, quantity is 25, somewhere here. So when we put all these points together, the curve we get is supply curve, which is an upward sloping curve, because there is a direct relation between price and quantity offered. Price increase, quantity offered also increase. So this direct relation gives you an upward sloping supply curve. So this is individual supply schedule and individual supply curve. Similarly, we can draw the market supply curve. Here we have taken the product, suppose product X, and we have suppose we have 3 producer or seller in the market, A, B, C, and all are offering at different price at different quantity. At 100, A is offering 750, B is offering 500, C is offering 450. So together market supply is 1700. Similarly at 200, 800, A is offering, B 650, C 500. So total 1950. So like that, at different price, different producers or sellers are offering different quantities, and when we put them together, we will get a market supply. And this, where we are putting all the producers or seller together, is called market supply schedule. And similarly, like individual supply curve, we put price here, we put market supply, quantity of market supply in the x-axis, then we put the figures in this, and we draw the curve. We will get an upward sloping curve, which is a market this is market demand curve. This should be demand, this should be supply curve. This is not demand curve, this is market supply curve. Okay, so market supply curve also represents the direct relationship between quantity supplied and the price of a product. I hope this video or this session will help you understand the basic concept of supply, supply curve, market supply, individual supply, and most importantly the determinants of supply that affects the supply, and the difference between the production, stock, and supply. So our next video we are going to discuss law of supply and price elasticity of supply. So till then, take care. Thank you.